I know David Cross.
You know him? Yeah, we just made this show with him, and it just aired in October. And it's doing really well for us. We're really excited.
Nice. He's
Yeah.
a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
He several years ago, the first time I hung out with him, I was driving around Austin and I had a pickup truck and he was riding in the bed of the truck, like he wanted to ride in the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
And I was just like, don't crash this truck.
He's like, I'm a New Yorker having another different city experience.
Totally.
That's
Which is
awesome.
kind of what we're doing. I don't know if you know what we're doing, but
I read this, which is amazing.
was that from the Times?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Amazing.
We
great,
roll into
great
town
coverage.
and I was like, welcome
Welcome
to
New
New
York
York City.
That's so great.
But basically right now we're just touring around with a few films that I made. I've made 3 feature films.
That's great.
The first 2 are on Netflix and Hulu and things like that. And then the third one we just finished, which is Chad Holt's the subject of it, and we're all buddies from sort of the counterculture scene in Austin. So we've been just traveling around trying to do something different distribution-wise, setting
Yeah.
up screenings in each city's sort of band style.
Great.
And this is our second 5-week tour. We did one out west, and it's just been crazy. Like a lot of fun. We meet like small independent cinema owners and filmmakers and counterculture folks. And
Yeah, and you're doing it in Brooklyn?
yeah, we're running in Brooklyn through Wednesday because they're taking off Thanksgiving, and then at a place called the Tank in Manhattan.
I know the Tank,
where
sure.
Everyone says it's great.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it awesome?
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Cool.
It's like they've really, that's like a bubble gum and I don't know, paper clips, kind of like that
Perfect.
organization. Like they've kept that going under, financial duress for a long
In Manhattan.
time.
I know.
In Manhattan.
When I heard about what they do, I was like, cool, where are you guys at? And I was like, how are you guys there?
It's kind of impossible. They've had a lot of different locations, and I'm like a sort of dyed-in-the-wool comedy person, and they do a lot of comedy stuff there.
Nice.
So yeah, I've always sort of keep my tabs on them.
Everyone
That's
tells us
awesome.
it should be a pretty cool screening.
I think it'll be fun.
So.
Yeah, they have a very sort of counterculture audience.
Nice.
So yeah. Do you know my brother-in-law in Austin? I know this is a random question, but he runs Trouble Puppet Theater.
Trouble Puppet. What's
Connor
his name?
Hopkins.
Connor Hopkins. That kind of sounds familiar, but I don't think I know the guy.
He just won some like big Austin theater thing, and
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Does he actually have a theater with puppets?
he has a theater company with puppets.
Really? What kind of
Yeah.
puppets? Like hand up the puppets, marionettes?
All
or-
kinds of different crazy
shadow?
things. Yeah, his last thing was based on Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, which is about like the meatpacking industry. He's
Yeah.
very like lefty radical.
Nice.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I like puppets.
Yeah.
Muppet Show, man. When I was a kid, that was the peak. It was the
Yeah.
pinnacle. The Muppet Show.
Yeah, totally. Me too. Me too. His stuff is more like arty highbrow,
Right.
but he's very sort of do it yourself and.
So it's not Team America, World Police.
No, although I'm a big fan.
That's a pretty funny show.
Yeah. So what do you know about IFC and what we're doing and?
Little here and there,
Yeah.
obviously IFC is a huge brand name, especially in the independent film community.
Sure.
I'm a filmmaker. Chad is sort of an artist of many hats in Austin in the counterculture. I keep up with what's happening through the film scene and
Yeah.
what shows y'all put on and things like
Yeah.
that. Well, we think we have a show that's good for you guys.
Okay.
Because it's about film in a sense, and it goes back to the tour that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like in broad strokes, like what we've witnessed on this tour and the last tour is that we cruise into different towns. Well, I book everything. It's very DIY.
Yeah.
It's 2 guys in a car basically. So I book everything, and then I gotta try to promote it. I go to cinemas, and then we may or may not have a place to stay in any given
Right.
town because if we got hotels and motels, then we would be losing money hand over fist. So it's just kind of a small potatoes affair in that
It's
aspect.
like a punk band on tour.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing that we're finding too. Much like when a band tours around, they have opening bands that meet with them and play before their show. They end up
Yeah.
sleeping on their floors, and so you create this web of other filmmakers or
Yeah.
other bands. But for us, it'd be filmmakers. And granted, not many people do what we do, which is drive around, for 5 weeks at a time
Right.
and show movies.
Right. Physically promote your
Right.
film yourself.
But I get like all these emails and contacts from filmmakers of the same sort of caliber, the same
Yeah.
area where I'm at, and they're even much more high profile filmmakers, and they're all just I don't want to say jealous, but they're just like, that's so cool, I wish I could do that.
Right. I have a day job.
Yeah, totally. I can't take 5 weeks off.
Right. You can.
It's like, I'm poor, I can, it doesn't matter. But so, kind of what we're thinking is a show that's that, more or less. You know, a show that is it's at its root, it's about DIY filmmakers driving around and showing their movies. But at the same time, you know, you meet other filmmakers in that town. You meet the cinema, the exhibitors in
Yeah.
that town, and you create this network. So it's a little bit of a travel show, but it's mainly hinged upon that we're doing these screenings and that we're representatives of a certain part of the culture from Austin, which is
Right.
a cultural jewel
Yeah.
in the United States. So we have that cachet, obviously. I from the film world, Chad from the music and the writing world, and so we go in as ambassadors of sorts, and we explore these little scenes.
Yeah.
You know, so in New Orleans, you know, we go there, and then just the kind of crazy adventures that happen along the way. Some of which we would set up. You know,
Right.
like want to make sure to meet this person and talk to this person.
Right.
Others just kind of come down the pike. Like we don't. Sometimes, a lot of times, like I said, we don't know where we're going to sleep for the night. So we're up on the stage. You know, hello, thanks for coming to the movie. Who wants to have some Texans sleep on your couch tonight? And that landed us in a mansion in Park City from the guy who does the what's the food company? Nature's Way. You heard Nature's Way Food Company?
Yeah.
It's like Isea Berries or however you say it.
Yeah.
So we're in this huge mansion because of a filmmaker friend, you know, in Park City.
Right.
You know, and then we get to Los Angeles and we screen at Echo Park Film Center. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
No. No.
It's like a little shoebox, kind of a community film center, and they have a bus, and they take their bus around to, you know, more, you know, impoverished communities, and they teach filmmaking seminars, and just we get to meet and find out about all this cool stuff that's kind of going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar, I guess, to Split Screen, Bill John Pearson show, you know, that Bravo started,
Yeah,
and IFC had, except for it's less magazine format. It's more
Right.
like you go to a city, you explore. It's
And
part
it's you guys.
it's part road
Yeah.
movie, yeah, and it's us just DIY style.
Yeah.
But at the same time meeting up with all the people, the like-minded people, and creating this web, you know, all over the United States.
It sounds really cool. Let me tell you a little bit about where we are as a network and original programming and sort of how film fits into the whole picture.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know, we went through a rebrand this year. So we're IFC, we're not the independent film channel anymore. So we've sort of taken the film notch out of our logo. And what our focus is on now is on building a slate of originals that are mainly comedy focused, frankly.
Yeah.
So we have Todd Margaret, which aired in October. We have the Onion News Network, which is airing
Which
in
is awesome.
January, which
Yeah.
we're so excited.
Yeah,
it's like a half-hour sort of Anderson Cooper
Yeah, no,
format
I've seen it, yeah.
of the
I've seen it
ONN,
online.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff that they do online.
It's great.
Which we're super excited about. We have a show called Portlandia that's set in sort of the Austin-esque counterculture in Portland.
Right.
That stars Fred Armisen and from Saturday Night Live and Carrie Brownstein from the band Slater Kinney. I don't know if you
Yeah, I'm
knew the
familiar.
band.
Absolutely. There's an exit in Olympia called Slater Kinney.
There is?
Off the road. I
They
drove
have
by
their
it.
own?
And, well, no, I think that's what the band was named after, but I drove by it and I was like,
Shaking your
hey,
head, right.
they're that popular up here? They've named an exit on the highway.
That's awesome. So it's Fred and Carrie playing all the characters in this sort of film sketch universe of Portland, like bicycle rights guy and two women who own a feminist bookstore. And
That sounds like Portland.
it's totally Portland.
So there's got to be sex
Shot it
in
in
there
Portland.
somewhere.
It's what?
There's got to be sex industry in there somewhere.
There's not sex industry, but there's definitely like a sort of punk couple that's always experimenting with
Right.
like safe words and stuff. It's really funny. It's amazing, and it's from Lorne Michaels, and so that airs in January with The Onion. We have a nonfiction show that we're doing about guys who compete in beard and mustache competitions. There's a lot of Austin.
Chad won one.
You did?
Yeah.
Are you part of the?
I might. It was a long time ago.
But it was best pornorific
Most
mustache?
pornorific.
Most
Yeah.
pornorific
Nice.
mustache.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like down and bounce.
It was-
No, it's kind of cop-like, I guess.
Very Magnum PI.
Yeah.
They're like 10 times as bushy, maybe.
Yeah.
Like Ned Flanders, maybe.
The Austin Facial Hair Club is a big, like, set of guys. This guy, Alan Demling, who ran for city council in Austin, is part of it. He won, like, third in the national competition. He has this crazy long beard.
So I take it you've seen Air Guitar Nation.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
right
I mean,
along those
totally,
lines.
that's
great.
totally what we're going for.
Yeah.
Sort of Best in Show,
Right.
Air Guitar Nation, King of Kong.
I love that movie.
So
One
good.
of the best top 10 easily.
So
easily
good,
top 10.
because it has a real villain and a real
The best
hero.
part is the villain. He's such an asshole.
What a dick
You
and
can't
the
get it.
hair. You're
And
just
the
like,
pants, the leather
"Oh,
pants
yes."
too. You can't get a better villain than that guy.
He's amazing. So that's kind of in the nonfiction space what we're looking at. And we also have a travel show called Young, Broke, and Beautiful. That's coming up with this guy Broke-Ass Stewart, who's a travel writer out of San Francisco, and he goes to different towns and finds sort of the cool counterculture things to do. A lot like what you're talking about,
Right.
except not film-centric.
Right.
In the beginning of IFC, we spent a lot of